What is happening, Dolphins fans, and welcome to another episode of the Fins Tailgate with your host, El Capitan. Tonight, on the tailgate party that never seems to stop, we are going to go into a couple of things. Number one, Dolphins fans getting trolled all over this joint by Don Kelvman or Dove Kelvman or whatever the heck it is. Pretty sure it's an AI bot, and Dolphins fans got very upset. But what goes around comes around with that, and I'll show you guys that here in a little bit. Also, what expectations do we have on Tua Tagovailoa this year? Third year Mike McDaniel, going into his fifth NFL season, got into the playoffs, had some struggles late in the year, but also, what expectations do we have not only on his performance and his production that we want to see out of him in his third year with Odell Beckham, with another running back, with all this Mike McDaniel love that he's got going on, but also what expectations on money, because, there's the Jared Goff contract, and then there's the Justin Herbert contract, which people are talking about being a baseline. We're going to get into all that. And then finally, we'll talk about, as we've been doing on Sundays around here, sometimes Mondays, breaking down early projections of the 53-man roster. We've already gone through wide receivers. Where do we go? Wide receivers, tight ends, running backs, safeties, corners, and today we will go with the O-linemen. Hit the like button on the way in, everybody. If you're watching on X, Twitter, Twitch, wherever you're, come over to YouTube, subscribe over here, hit the like button, and let's get right into it.
Turner Yell makes the stop in the secondary for Denver. 1st and 10. The fake. Good block in there, and down it goes. Caught at the 30. This is the dynamic Hill. He's in for 6. Tyreek Hill. Touchdown. What a block.
Take into your hands a plan. Your own hands can land your own brand. And damn, I feel like no one takes accountability. They want the credibility, convincingly unwilling to put in the hours it takes to get some power. Don't be fucking sour. Take a cold shower. Scream until you're louder. Work until you're prouder. And all the doubters, they're just your downers. I swear to God they all let me down. I always fought just to wear the crown. I'm off, it's these fucking clowns who were all taught they deserve it now. It's only worth it if you work for it.
Yes, another episode of the Fins Tailgate with your host, El Capitan. Hit the like button on the way in. Shout out to everybody who got in here early. Jamie, Cap for Life, Daniel Berry Sports, Michael K, Raph. Hit the like button, gentlemen and ladies. Thank you. Duke, what's up, Duke? Salute, homie. So yeah, guys, hit the like button, join the membership, helps support the program. A lot goes into everything. Anyhow, Dolphinaire, what up? Let's get right into it. We'll waste no time. First thing on the docket, real quick, it looks like Darren Waller is retiring. There's been some weird stuff about Darren Waller. He did like some fucking weird sad country song or some shit. I don't know. I don't really care. But he broke up with his girlfriend, did some songs. She's stabbing him in the back, yada, yada, yada. People were talking about him retiring, and he was like, no, I'm not going to retire. And then he didn't show up for camp, and now he's retiring, which I kind of get, right? Like, man, like to go to work and be a New York Giant these days. There was a time he'd be a New York Giant. It was pretty cool. But not recently, right? And like that whole organization sucks. I feel like the day he took the money and went to New York and left the Raiders, it's just been a rough go of it for the guy, right? Big city. He's had his early troubles with addiction and alcoholism and stuff like that, and he's overcome it. And I just wonder if there's, he's 31 years old, going to retire, and it's probably for the best. If you feel like retiring at 31, don't want to get your head smacked around anymore, and you've had some troubles, and you got some personal troubles, you got some other personal womanly troubles, all that stuff, let's just, let's probably for the best. At the very minimum, take a year off, maybe just figure your life out, stuff like that. We don't need the guy relapsing or having any CTE type of stuff. I just don't want nothing, right? The guy was a great athlete. I remember when he was with the Raiders, it was like, damn, this dude is good. But yeah, shout out to Flava J continuing with his membership 8 months in a row, the homie. Salute Flava J. Be like Flava J, guys, and subscribe and become a member to the program. It helps a lot. Every dollar counts. So especially when you only get half of it. But anyhow, yeah, so probably for the best if he's not feeling up to it as a competitor anymore. This is not the game to go into it half-hearted, right? Better retirement than what's his name? Davis, Vontae Davis, who quit halftime. But remember, he passed away all of a sudden. There was some stuff going around with him as well. And, it's something that's never really talked about. We know what happens to like the superstars of the league, right? When they retire from the NFL, when they have a tragedy from, CTE or, mental illness, whatever they got going on, addiction, all that stuff. When they're superstars, we know what happens with them. What happens to all these other guys that, play 6, 7, 8 plus years in the league? We don't really hear about them and what happens to them. And it's the dark shadow that sits behind the NFL. And which is why, I will always respect these guys who put their literal lives on the line for entertainment, and they get paid handsomely for it too, right? Like, I wish I had the size and stature to take that risk myself, right? I would totally do it. I took plenty of risks for nothing. You know what I'm saying? I took tons of risks for money, more often than not, and a lot of ladies, and, all for naught, There go Michael K on the 15-month and still no playoff wins, he says. That's nasty work, bro. That's nasty work. 15 months and still no playoff win. That's brutal, bud. It's pretty brutal. But yeah, we'll see what happens with Darren Waller. What's up, Ryan AP? Salute to the member in the family. We'll see what happens with Waller, but for now, it looks like he's set on retiring. So I wish him well in all his new endeavors. Looks like he's got a little bit something going on with the music he wants to try out, and we'll see, right? Anyhow, let's go ahead and get to the first topic at hand, and that's these Miami Dolphins fans getting trolled and people getting mightily upset. So Dove Kelvman, all right, is pretty much on X or Twitter or whatever you want to call it. And it's an AI bot, bro. It totally is. It takes Adam Schefter and a couple of the other big, Rap Sheet, Ian Rappaport, Adam Schefter. It takes the big news things that are from the top NFL people, and it just chat GBTs it and puts it out and then ats them. It's like, at Adam Schefter reports blah 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 blah, and he's amassed tons and tons of followers. I mean, in the millions, right? And this latest tweet of it states the last QB with 5 passing touchdowns in a game for each team, right? And it lists all of the teams in their last quarterback to throw for 5 or more touchdowns in a game. And Dolphin fans are irate. And I'm going to show you why. Okay? So, take a gander right here. Let me go ahead and get it a little up for you. So we got Lamar Jackson, 2023, CJ Stroud, Jared Goff, Dak Prescott, Patrick Mahomes, Jameis Winston, the last guy to do it for the Saints, Baker Mayfield, Tom Brady, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, Daniel Jones threw for 5 touchdowns in 2019. Whoa. Matt Ryan, 2018. Mitch Trubisky, 5 touchdowns. He actually threw 5 touchdowns. Holy cow. I would have never thought that. Jared Goff, again. Jared Goff holds 2 of them. Look at that. Jared Goff has it in 2018 with the LA Rams and again 2023 with the Lions. But you know what? I want to say that that's wrong for the LA Rams. Don't quote me on it, but I'm pretty sure Stafford's thrown a 5 touchdown game. And the only reason I'm going on my gut on this one, because if you look right here, it has 1994. Dan Marino was the last quarterback to throw for 5 or more touchdowns. And that's a lie. That's wrong. That's just not true. That's not true. That's not true. Tua has thrown for more than that. And crazy enough, Dolphins Twitter undefeated, right? Let me pull it up here because I retweeted it out because I thought it was hilarious. If I can get this stupid thing to go. I write AI cooked by AI because if you look here, I write AI cooked by AI because he put this tweet out and then it got flagged by the reader's added context. The people have spoken, and it says Tua Tagovailoa threw for 6 touchdowns against the Ravens in 2022 for the Miami Dolphins. So AI defeats AI in an AI fight. And this is our future, people. Do you realize that? This is our friggin' future. People, we are so dependent on our phones, our watches, our dumbass computers, that when it tells us something is the truth, we're just like, well, that's what it is. Jack Daniels is good for you if you drink it every night. The computer told me. Not common sense. And then an AI bot will come out and go, well, it's good for you because this one lady drank a shot of Jack Daniels every single night and she lived to 124 years old, which I fucking remember seeing on TV. But that's how they'll misinformation their stupid asses, and AI is going to slip up on AI, and we're all here suffering because of it. Well, I'm not, because I don't believe nothing on face value. Nope. I take everything as a lie right off rip. I'm like, no, that's not true. And then they prove it to me. I'm like, all right, maybe it's true. But other than that, I'm cautious by nature. So that ain't no lie, Bill's fake crowd noise. It's just now they don't even have to make up false nonsense. They got computers just spouting off at the stupidness now. So it's a whole new world out there, peoples. But Dolphins fans go, irate to the point that the readers kept blah, 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 blah. And now AI clips it and goes, yo, you wrong, dummy. Stupid head. So yeah, everybody who's been tripping out there need not trip no more, because y'all won. Which again, like I said, undefeated. Dolphins Twitter, Dolphins fans in general, right, just seem to always have something going on somewhere. And I'm about it. I'm about the business. I'm about, meth helps you grow hair. I didn't know. Yeah, you know what, Raph? It's what always worked for me, buddy. I'm almost 40, and I got a full head of hair. And all my teeth. No fake teeth. Even though I got an implant coming in a couple weeks, because I did get one cavity. First cavity ever. Not because of methamphetamine. Anyhow, hit the like button, guys. Cruising on. We're going to go ahead and hit up to the next topic that's been going on, because Dolphins fans may have gotten trolled, but they won the battle. Or, excuse me, they won the war. Thank you. But I will say this. What's up, Raul? Hit the like button, homie. I will say this. Joe Wrist, I seen you, bud. And look, X-Wolf watching on Twitch over there. Bills have never won a Super Bowl. Says Bills never won a Super Bowl. Not this year for sure. Wide receiver room is weak. Oh, yeah, wait till we get on all that stuff at another time. Their wide receiver group is so terrible right now that the best one they've got is Chase Claypool, who is straight up cursed. I'm telling you right now, there's a stat that since Chase Claypool had that big game with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and then went to the Bears and got paid as a free agent or traded. I think they traded for him. He hasn't won a single game or something crazy like that. And every team that gets him, whenever he ends up on the 53-man game roster or the whatever 48, whatever the hell it is, game roster, that team loses. And it was true when he went to the Dolphins. When he was on the field, the Dolphins lost those games. The guy's been on like a 3-year tear right now of if he's your starting wide receiver or not just starting, if he's on the 53-man roster and playing snaps, you're losing that football game. Buddy's got a curse. And I can't wait to see if the Bills roll him out for the first couple of weeks and they start off with a freaking a slide in the beginning. That would be proving the Chase Claypool curse. X-Wolf says, Yo, Capitan, do you think the Dolphins would be better with Darren on? Well, I mean, yeah, buddy. You put Aaron Donald, I don't care what the hell's going on any team. He's going to make that team better, bro. 1,000,000%. 1,000,000%. I see you, Raph. Fucking dummy. All right, so what was I talking about? All right, well, let's go. Chase Claypool, Bills suck. We're going to see if he becomes their best weapon, who they've been reporting. And if that's the case, I can't wait to watch them just look like the Jets just falling out of the sky. Yeah, he was. He was totally on his way to the CFL before being signed with the Bills. That's a fact, Raph. So, all right, let's move on to our next topic, right? What's up, Adam Sadowski? Joe Levisque, what's good, homie? Hit the like button. So let's get on to the next topic, and we're talking about expectations on Tua Tagovailoa. And this is kind of gonna tie hand in hand with Mike McDaniel, right? And what I mean by that, we're going to start off first with our expectations of the offense and of our team and this quarterback and stuff like that, right? Now, oddly enough, Tua Tagovailoa, not oddly, I don't mean to say it like that, but Tua Tagovailoa was the NFL's leading passer last year in 2023. But as you guys that have been watching around here, and if you don't know, and this is your first time watching, bully you because you're going to learn something. That Tua Tagovailoa is 4,620 yards, number one in the NFL in 2023, is the lowest amount on average per game in the past 20 some odd years. Okay. Now let me reel that back a little bit because I know I talk quick sometimes. His 4,620 yards average per game yardage is the lowest average in the past 20 odd years. Now, hear this take, people, because I've been saying it for months, TFTG network crew and people around. I promise you the mainstream media is stealing this take right this minute, and it will come out here in the near future. I promise you, because Tua's talking about getting paid. We got expectations on that, and I'm going to talk to you guys about that here in a moment. But Tua's 4,620 some odd yards per in his 2023 season is the lowest amount per game in the past 20 some odd years. It's a fact because we play one more game since the since the last time somebody had less than, and it was Tom Brady in 2017, I think it was. He had like 45 and change. So he had like about 100 yards less than Tua Tagovailoa did this year, but he played one game less. You understand? So I will say this when we're talking about expectations. I expect Tua to throw more than 4,600 yards. I expect that number to be closer to 4,800 yards this year. And probably won't be good for, won't make him number one in the NFL in passer yards. Because really, with the one extra game, we're going to see people with 5,000 or more hitting that all the time. And we have the past 5 or 6 years of football, right before the one game extension and beyond. We've been seeing a lot of 5,000 yard plus passers. And it's duh, right? Duh. You got one extra game. That's an extra 200 and something yards on average could get you over the 5,000 mark. So I think that Tua will even take a step forward, which will be a big thing considering it was good enough for number one last year. Which contextually we can say is that, a lot of quarterbacks went down last year. A lot of quarterbacks, even that played, didn't play full seasons. And saith what you will. Now, I guess I know every single person be like, oh, well, Patrick Mahomes played all year. But everybody and their mother, myself included, was like, this is the year to get the Chiefs. They got everybody's dropping everything. Chiefs were number one in drops. I think they had like 45 drops last year. Not even an exaggeration. Number one by a large margin. I think the next team that like 2 or 3 teams had like 26 or 27. They had double that almost. They had so many drops and still won the Super Bowl. So again, I will say the expectations to me are more than 4,600 yards because I believe Tua is getting better every year. And I also believe that he's going to be a better version of himself third year in this offense with a weapon like Odell Beckham, dropping some of this weight, becoming a little bit more mobile and lean and mean. I like that. And, also I'm interested, really super interested to see the effects of the off-season quarterback programming with the 3D QB or whatever the fuck it was called, where those mechanics sharpening for a little bit more zip. I'm so interested to see what incremental growth as a quarterback he gets because of that. Because if it's anything in the strength and velocity department, that's great. Anything noticeable that comes with his strength throwing the ball and velocity, I am going to be ecstatic because it's good. It's pretty damn good right now, but it could always be better, right? And for anyone who's like, oh no, it's good enough. It's good enough. It's good. Good enough is good enough for second fucking place, dude. Great is what greatness gets first. Good enough. It's okay. It's good. It's good. It's good enough. When you look at the average, he's a little bit above that. I don't want fucking little bit above average. I want, oh, damn, what was that? And I've seen him do some of that. I just wanted a little more. And I'll be pig-headed. I want a Super Bowl. That's what I want. I want a Super Bowl. I don't want to hear about all this other nonsense about what's good enough. It ain't good enough for me. It ain't good enough for this fan base. And that's why we're talking about expectations. Tired of you softies out here, dude. You know what second place is? The first loser. That's who it is. Second place is the first loser because everybody knows who lost to the winner. Nobody remembers who never got a shot to win it. And they always go, oh, man, I could have beat that team if I'd have got in there over them. I wouldn't have got embarrassed like that, dog. Shit. Everybody, first and biggest loser is second place because everybody sees you as the one that couldn't get past that. And everyone else can make up any BS excuses that, well, if it was me against him, I would have won. You lucky I got, beat out beforehand. You had to face stupid McGee. Bitch. That's what it is. My opinions never change, dog. Never change. Never, ever, ever change. First of all, I'm batting 1,000. Everybody knows it, H. Everybody knows that Capitan bats 1,000 in this bitch. I'm always right. And yeah, oh shit. I am kind of voting for it. If you're first, you're last. Damn. Well, see, it's funny that they say that in Talladega Nights because my dad's been saying that for a long time. He'd been saying it way before. He goes, you know what second place is? The first loser. But if you're not first, you're last. That's pretty good. Yeah, that's kind of a family thing we've been saying for a long time. It's crazy. I never put that together. Thanks for that, H. I'll talk to my pops about that when I see him next. Anyhow, I'm interested to see what kind of growth in velocity and arm strength and mobility with the 10, 15 pounds, bringing them to around 220. Which is good. That's fucking 10 pounds heavier than I am, and I'm got a little bit more meat on my bones than Tua. I'm more like thick Tua than I am like skinny Tua. No, it doesn't look like that because the camera sheds a lot of weight, but I'm a little bit thicker. Anywho, so expectations are I'm expecting definitely more than 4,600 yards. I'm expecting it to be, closer to 48, right? I'm also expecting more touchdowns in the air. Or let's do it like this. More total touchdowns, right? Because with the leanness and the mobility, I think Tua might scurry his way across the end zone. We might even see Tua take one out from 15 yards and scurry across that bad boy, right? I'm looking for it to be closer in the mid 30 range, like 34, 35, 36 total touchdowns. That's what I think. And those are my expectations. I expect him to be better and get better and stay healthy. I expect outside of 2 games with ticky-tacky type stuff. And when I say 2 games, I'm talking about, kind of got messed up at the end of one game. Dolphins hold him out this next coming game. Could have played. They decide not to. And also, first quarter, gets something happen to him, doesn't play the rest of the game. I'm willing to give every quarterback and every player 2 games missed in a season because the season's long and grueling right now. I'm not talking about injured. I'm not talking about, hurt and injured are different. What we always say on the football field for any of you guys that played. Are you hurt or are you injured? Because if you're hurt, let's see where you're hurt at. Can we get it better? Rub some dirt on it, get back out there. If you're injured, well, now you're gonna miss some time. Now that sucks. When you're hurt, we can call you a bitch. When you're injured, we're like, damn, that sucks. Now you can't play. So that being said, we need to go ahead and keep that same expectation. To me, I think he needs to go ahead and be healthy for 90% of the season and all through the playoffs, which, again, now we can get into the final part right after I answer Q's question. El Cap, you think it's a problem? It'll be a problem going into this season if Miami doesn't give Tua the bag? No, I don't. And we're going to get on that next, Q. I don't think it's going to be a problem. It's who's it going to be a problem for? We'll get on that in a second. Continuing on the expectations is I expect more than 4,600 yards, closer to 48. I expect more than 29 touchdowns, closer to 35, within the medium 30s. And I expect him to remain healthy like he has. And I expect him to win enough games to win the East. Maybe not the AFC, but definitely win the East. And win the first round in the playoffs at home. Depending on our matchup in the second round, I expect to win in that too. To me, the Dolphins should be in the final 2 weeks of the season securing and showing the entire NFL that they are one of the teams that are looking at the AFC Championship to make a run and try to get in this Super Bowl. And everybody knows it. And those are the expectations I expect the NFL to find out about us and this football team. And Tua is the guy that I need to be there, along with Mike McDaniel and everybody else, right? But to me, Mike McDaniel being better and Tua being his best version this year coming out, those are the results I expect. 11 wins, I think, wins the East, guys. I think 11 wins could win the East. 12 probably wins the AFC. 12 wins the AFC. 11 wins the East, and it was the same as last year. That's it. So when we pivot on expectations again to when we're talking about expectations of money and, going back to Q with his question, I do not see it being a problem, Q. And the reason I don't expect it to be a problem is why? Q says, Raph, I think it's a problem. You lose Tua, your odds of competing go down. Absolutely. I mean, I agree with that. Tua gives us the best chance to win in the NFL with this football team currently constructed and who we currently possess on the roster. There's no secret. Everybody know that. But do you think Tua gains leverage by holding out? The reason a player wants to hold out is to make his plight known that he's unhappy, right? Player holds out, he's unhappy, everybody knows it. And a lot of times that players hold out and they're and unhappy, it goes one or two ways. One, the fan base goes, you need to pay this guy. He's been a good boy, working hard every year, grinding. I see it with a lot of running backs, honestly, that end up getting paid by their team. They're the workhorse. They're the whole offense. They're doing everything. But, and I'm not saying Tua doesn't emulate those things, but let's not act like the team hasn't done him a lot of favors, right? Let's not act like the team hasn't taken a lot of risks on Tua. From drafting him with a hip injury, I think that's a great show of faith, personally. Now, they are, and Tua and his camp have a lot of water in this argument on this side, that the Dolphins have for every single year except for last year, well, not last year, except for this year, they have looked for another quarterback. From the time in which they drafted him, they wanted to go up and get Burrow, to Deshaun Watson and Brady and Lamar Jackson. All options that the Dolphins sought out, looked at, and tried to get, the least of which Lamar Jackson, because it was the 2 first-round draft picks and the money. But just remember, look at what Lamar Jackson got paid. And the Dolphins didn't want to pay him that and give 2 first-round draft picks, right? And I'm sorry, who's a better quarterback? Now, when you say quarterback, I don't mean passer. I mean NFL starting quarterback. Lamar Jackson or Tua Tagovailoa? Tell me, chat, right now. Put it in chat. Is Tua a better quarterback or Lamar Jackson? And I want you to take your fandom out of it, right? That's Game Boy. I appreciate that. I wholeheartedly agree. Tua is deadly accurate. But who is giving the opposing defense a harder time? Tua Tagovailoa or Lamar? That wasn't the freaking question, which are top 10, Michael K. This is the problem. You never follow directions. I think it's pretty safe to say that Lamar gives you a little bit more playmaking dynamicness with his big arm and his running ability than Tua does with his deadly accuracy, right? Now, that was Tua 2023. I'll tell you what, Tua, lighter Tua, more lean Tua, puts a little bit more of that, whatchamacallit on there, a little bit of, mobility. Then yeah, that if he adds that mobility that he had in college into the NFL, something I expected to see a little bit more of, at least by now. Then yeah, dude, like he's closing the gap with Lamar Jackson and might have that completely shut with playing like that, right? That being said, I think the chat kind of agrees. When we're talking about accuracy, right? Talking about quarterback, and our quarterback in particular. Now, we went over our expectations and production. And again, I preface this by saying it also depends on the coach. He can't go out there and make something happen that isn't happening, right? What's that? Cap, who's your top 5 QB based on meat size? Gross. Nah, no thanks, Red, White, and Bills. No Diddy, bro. Right, IQ? Come on. Jesus. Anyhow, hit the like button, please. When we talked about expectations with Tua, well, I'm a lot of this too. And I'm going to close it with this, with what Q's asking about the leverage part. And what I mean by it's Tua doesn't have leverage to hold out. He's not going to leave $23 million on the table. It's just not smart, bro. It's not. They got to get it figured out. I promise you the Dolphins are offering upwards of $170 million over 4 years, right? Upwards of $170 million over 4 years to risk that. Because if you look at 4-year extension of 170 plus the 23, that's $193 million. That's like $200 million. You're gonna risk that money for what? What's it gonna do? Does Tua and his camp believe holding out will win more of this fan base? No, it won't. It won't. If anything, there is plenty of people that have changed most of their outlook on Tua these past 2 years, myself included, right? I've changed what I think Tua can be capable as an NFL quarterback since the time of this show to now. And all the people that were saying, oh, they were lying. They're liars, bro. They're liars that they said they believed it was going to be as such. You just waited longer. I'll tell you what, I could make bolder takes kind of like how Pete does and wait even longer and be right on them. But I'm telling you in the moment and the now and keeping you well informed on the subjects, because I'm not going to play that BS game and lie to you about Tua was a great quarterback in 2021. He wasn't. There was a lot of limitations, and it didn't look great all the time. There was good things and flashes, but if you thought he was the guy in 2020 and 2021, you were, you're wrong. It wasn't until 2022 and 2023 when Mike McDaniel came here and his body got healthier and some things changed. He put some weight on. There's all these other things that go into it, right? And we're going to see what happens again this year. So, all right, Q. I see you really want to get into it. So they can force the franchise tag him for around $45 million. Right now, it's projected at 43. 0.8 million or something like that, or 42.8 actually. But there's going to be another signing and it'll go up. So we can call it 45 million for a franchise tag. So that means the Dolphins for $68 million, that's what, 34 a year for the next 2 years, is significantly cheaper than the money he's probably asking for at 45, 46 million, right? Per year. And then what? They could franchise him again. Yeah, it'll be more, most certainly, because there's an increase when you double down on the franchises. But if you take it in a 3-year sample size and look at what he got and what you would have paid, or what he asked for and what you ended up paying, it'll probably either be even and or less than. So why does Tua want to go and risk every year of his life? That one injury costs him $200 million in guarantees over the next 5 years. There's no way that 110 million, because that's what we can say if they franchised him 2 years in a row and paid him his 5th-year option. We'll call it 110. That doesn't make sense when you could have had 200. And that's probably on the lower side too. I think it's still more, because you got to remember the 5th year he's getting 23, and then 4 years after that I gave him 170. It's probably north of that, but we're just going on, estimated figures to keep whole numbers right now. So that's just stupid business. They're going to take the money. Even if it is only 170 million in guarantees for 4 years, which is identical to what Goff got, he would now be worth $193 million and have that money for the next 5 years of his life. To go, oh, well, I want it to be 225 million and fight over $40 million and end up getting injured in 1 or 2 of these years over the time being. You rather than getting 90 more, you lost yourself 200. And that's the facts, bro. That's the facts. That's the facts. So now, does it hurt your team to have this looming and this disconnect with your quarterback who's, moving into being the face of the franchise, moving into being the franchise quarterback, moving into a guy that probably after this contract will have been the Miami Dolphins quarterback for a decade, right? Minimally. But it's a massive commitment. And so the Dolphins are doing their due diligence. And as of late, there's been a lot of talk about the Justin Herbert deal. And it's so funny. It's so fucking funny, dude. Because they've been saying this about Justin Herbert, that Justin Herbert's 5-year extension and Tua Tagovailoa's 5-year extension are going to look eerily similar. And it's funny because Justin Herbert, 5-year, $262.5 million with $218 million in guarantees. I had a projection of $265 million with $215 million guaranteed. That's what I've heard that they're asking for, or excuse me, what the Dolphins are gearing to be their final offer. I've talked about it a bunch, and looky here. Look at who's been right all along. That's what they're asking for. That's what I said that Tua's people are asking for, and I'm going to pull it up right now. Just give me a second. I'll pull it up here real quick. Hold on, let me search in here. Great. Just give me a second. Now I got to scroll down and find it, dude. Damn it. It won't let me type it in here. Oh, wait, look. Here it is. Found it. So this is exactly what I said right here. Rumors flying about Tua Tagovailoa's team's asking price. $265 million with $215 million guaranteed on a 5-year deal, averaging out to $53 million a year. And that $215 million is a modest 5 years at 215 divided by 5 is $43 million a year, which I think is very fair. I think it's very fair. That'll put him on a 6-year deal where he'll earn that, including his 5th year. He'll earn $238 million over the next 6 years. That includes this year and 5 more. And the Dolphins will pay under $40 million a year over the next 6 years for a quarterback. That's a sweet deal. It's a sweet deal. I think it's very fair when you look at it in that context. See what I'm saying? And I think that it's a fair deal. And I think the Dolphins and Tua will end up signing the deal that I've been saying since, I think it was back in early May, middle of May. So keep a lookout, as now the deal has changed from what they thought was a baseline with Goff to more of a baseline with Herbert, which leans closer to what I've been saying, I've been hearing. And I've been trying to tell people this. Been trying to tell people it. I don't know why they don't want to hear it, but now you know. Now you know. It's a very fair deal, guys. It is. It's what he'll get, and that's what will put this to bed and to rest and allow the Dolphins to enter into this 3-year window that they've been gearing up for. And I've said this. Either Hill gets done by the end of next week, and it looks pretty close to that, or it's sometime in mid-July, Tua's deal gets done, and then Hill's deal gets done shortly after. And I made that take last Sunday. I'll make it again probably every Sunday until it comes to fruition, because Hill's going to be a part of this, and they need to manipulate the money in such a way to get to it. And that's fine. We can worry about what's going to happen in 2027 when we get there. But right now, 2024, 2025, 2026, the Dolphins need to keep their linchpin pieces to remain in this 3-year window to go for it all. And in 2027, they'll have the opportunity to be in the 2026 offseason and go, you know what? We're going to be fucked beyond 2028 and beyond, but at least we're going to get one more shot at it in 2027. And that's exactly what they'll have available to them. It could be a 3-year window that they need to pivot, whether that's purge the roster and just go with Tua and keep Mike McDaniel, or purge the roster and get rid of everybody, including a new quarterback, and get rid of Tua. Or they can double down in 2027 and try to remain the team and draft and do a thing like that. But they can keep it together for the next 4 years. And I've already gone through the numbers. I'm not doing it again. Go back and watch the other episodes on Sundays and Mondays when I'm going through all this stuff, because it is a lot of dissemination of information that I've been doing over the last couple months, which has kept me basically going live once a week outside of joining the other guys' shows. Now, oddly enough, right? Oops, sorry. We've talked about the expectations with Tua Tagovailoa. We've talked about what our expectations of a fan base are for him. I've talked about what I expect from him in his performance and the leader of this team. I've talked about what I expect him to end up getting. Oddly enough, the expectations of Tua Tagovailoa in the mainstream media have been wildly different, dating back to a couple years ago, back when Tyreek Hill was brought to the Dolphins. And I've got a fan favorite up here right now, getting ready to talk about it on the mainstream media. And you guys let me know in chat if you can hear it.
Folks, they're tools. That's all wide receivers are. You don't have the protection. You don't have the quarterback. They got a rookie head coach. They got a quarterback probably not there in a year. But you're going to see what you're going to see very clearly with Tyreek Hill because we have data for the.
Hold on a second. A quarterback that's not going to be there in a year is what he just said. This is heading into the rookie year of Mike McDaniel. But the mainstream media was counting Tua out completely.
See very clearly with Tyreek Hill because we have data for the last 3 years, Mahomes and Tyreek Hill, what you're going to see in a very good defensive division with Belichick, Robert Saleh, got all defensive coaches now, right? Better than average with Tua, a limited quarterback. You're going to see really quickly, they're not.
It's so funny that he uses Robert Saleh and Bill Belichick as the examples in the division because Tua has straight whipped the Jets and I don't think he's ever lost to the Jets or the Patriots. Now, I know he hasn't played every single game, but I don't think when he started and finished the game, I don't think he's ever lost either one of those teams.
We're not getting the most out of Tyreek Hill because you're going to compare it to the Mahomes-Tyreek Hill relationship. That's the comp. And so he's going to move to Miami, face Belichick twice a year with Tua, and the comp is going to be we're not getting enough out of him. So they're going to move off Tua. You know that. This is basically a move in a year to move off Tua. Because you're going to watch Tyreek Hill. The owner's going to go, look what I'm spending. Look what I have. Why aren't we winning more?
Damn. A rough take considering Tyreek Hill did nothing but get better statistically since being a Miami Dolphin, dating to last year where, dude, what was it? 100 million yards he got last year or something like that? Granted, I think all Dolphins fans, and myself included, would say that I want this offense to be a little less Tyreek-centric as far as feeding him the ball goes, but I definitely don't want him not on the field in any case scenario because I think something we've all talked about when we got Tyreek wasn't just the absolute numbers we were going to get through him, but the numbers we were going to get because of him, the byproduct. Him pulling safeties and double coverages and allowing other guys to get single coverages or be wide open underneath. And I think the Dolphins have missed some opportunities there and have looked this offseason to correct it. I think a lot of these running backs are going to get some more underneath passes. I think these tight ends are going to get some more targets. And I know for a fact our wide receiver 3, Odell Beckham, is going to get some more. And I expect all that stuff to play into what I say is a 4,800-yard season from Tua and 35 friggin' touchdowns. Especially after the son of a bitch gets the money I'm thinking he's going to get, right? And that's the thing, right? Everyone thinks, once Tua's paid. No, the criticism really starts then. The criticism really ramps up then. You ain't paying a guy $220 million and he's going to get not criticized. Hell no. The rich get criticized the most, and rightfully so. You got all this money. Don't play around. Don't play. What's up, Color?
What's up, man? You can put me in back if you want to. I just came up to the list to, be ready to.
Oh, yeah. Well, drop in the back whenever you feel it's time to come through. Come through.
Yeah, I'm on mobile right now. I just didn't want to interrupt you.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, because I'm on a rant right now, buddy. I'm just gonna keep yourself there, right there. I like you right there.
Whatever you need, man.
So, Cap, I had to put you in timeout. You keep spamming the chat. I gotta time you out, bro. No more of the spamming in chat. Everybody's sick of it. I've had friggin' one of the other mods tell me about you doing it. Said he was banning them. You was spamming the chat. And I told you. Now you banned. Now you get in trouble. Now you get your comments removed. Now you're in trouble. Wait, did it kick him completely off? I just wanted to kick his comment off. Damn, Cap. Now you're banned, it says. Fuck, I didn't mean to do that. Color, if you can unban Cap for life,
For life.
Yeah, Cap for life. Don't
Is it banned for life?
I banned him on accident, bro. He's the first ban, and you know me, I'm against the ban. But I gotta start removing his comments. Keep spamming the damn chat.
It might just be for 300 seconds.
We'll see.
Oh, unless you did it out of StreamYard, then yeah.
I did it out of StreamYard, bro. I did it out of StreamYard. Oh shit, Joe Riz says banned for life. Damn, Cap. We'll get you back, dog. I promise. But you got to stop spamming the fucking chat.
For life.
Look, everybody's like, bye, Cap. Damn. Hit the like button, everybody. If we can get the likes over 100 likes, we'll get Cap for life unbanned in this bad boy. So.
And I'm walking to the store right now. I don't have a way.
Oh, see, Color can't even help you, and I can't help you either right now. Looks like you're watching, and you know you're creeping now, Cap, because you're banned. Anyhow, so here's what some other people said back, way back when about Tua.
Kill, good luck. I'm glad you got paid, and I don't blame him for leaving because I don't know that he could have gotten paid with the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm not mad at him. But the reality is life's going to be a lot different for Tyreek Hill. He's going to have to enjoy location and the paycheck because he's not going to enjoy the same success.
That ain't.
So wait a second now. The same success. They're not wrong on that take because the Chiefs won 2 Super Bowls back-to-back since he left. Right? But personal success of him with his legacy and God, dude, let's definitely hitting the benchmarks of his, his bonuses. He's been getting them. That's a fact. But I mean, look, that's not wrong to say, right? We haven't won Super Bowls since Tyreek has been here, but Tyreek Hill isn't gone, and I think he's going to be a good reason why we win a Super Bowl in these next couple of years. Let's listen to what some other people had to say. Oh, wait a second.
You should see kind of a drop with production just because of the quarterback situation.
Oof. Talking about Tyreek Hill looking for production. A lot of this is talking about essentially what Tua was and what Tyreek Hill was going to expect being with Tua Tagovailoa. And a lot of things to look back at these last couple of years, right? I mean, everybody's saying Tyreek Hill just chased the bag.
Is this a situation that the Dolphins can even exploit Tyreek Hill in the right way? In the sense that, is Tua good enough to make Tyreek Hill be the great that we know he is?
Frankly, my entire life, there's been no respect for the Dolphins outside of 15 yards. The question is this quarterback equipped? And Mike McDaniel has talked, all about, well, we're back into it and we think he can do this, but I'm not confident. And that's my fear is you're paying $30 million a year and reported 70-something million guaranteed for a guy who I'm not sure you maximize.
Okay, so wait a second here now. Because listen, 2 years ago when we got Tyreek Hill, I wasn't sold on Tua. And I understood that. And I had a lot of criticism for Tua. Rightfully so. But you can't tell me you're going to give a weapon to any quarterback and the weapon's Tyreek Hill and it not be a massive improvement. Wide receivers, they help quarterbacks, right? And they have to. Quarterback lays one up there, that wide receiver got to pick up the pace to get underneath it. On the minimum of the competitor Tyreek Hill is, on the minimum of the talent that he is, for these people to have a lot of these takes that they did about what he won't be and what because of what Tua's not going to be able to do, well, let's just hear some more.
All right, I hear what you just said, but I'm going to go back to Jen's original question. I believe both these quarterbacks are about to get exposed to different degrees. It's going to be career threatening for Tua.
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden he's on the hottest seat in the National Football League.
Any player.
Damn. So not only was Tua not going to be better, but it puts him on a hot seat having a wide receiver. How, again, I'm not saying it couldn't have, right? If Tyreek Hill completely had the worst year in his career and played all the games with Tua, then yeah, that could have hung Tua out to dry in some way. But did anyone really think that that was the possibility? No. The possibility was going to be that it would be, Tyreek Hill was going to be Tyreek Hill and Tua was going to be Tua, and it wasn't going to be enough, right? But that wouldn't end Tua's career because it would have been a guy that just finished his third year in a rookie deal, coming up to a fourth year in a rookie deal with a fifth year that he has this year coming up on a fifth-year option. Still $23 million for a quarterback.
But Capitan, wait, he said it slow and intellectual sounding. Are you sure he ain't right?
That's true. When you speak stupidly to people, it makes you sound more like an authority. It makes people pay closer attention to your voice.
I can't stand Skip, man. Sorry.
I fucking hate people that talk like that. Like me, I know sometimes I'll rattle real quickly because my thoughts move like that, and my speech pattern. But when people talk in that, it's so condescending to me that I want to punch them in their face because you're essentially assuming I'm unintelligent, and I hate that.
Yeah, he'll actually tell you the sky is blue, but he'll tell you in a way like he's the only one that ever could tell you that. You know what I mean?
Oh, look, Cap for Life made it through. It was just a timeout. Okay, all right, Cap made it out the other side. Cap, don't make me snipe you again, dog. Stop spamming the damn chat. Hell yeah. All right, let's do this. So, Mina Kimes, which Dolphins fans hate, she didn't have much nice things to say either.
In some skepticism about Tua's ability to stretch the field with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, the way Patrick Mahomes did. Patrick Mahomes did with Tyreek Hill, rather. His arm strength is not there.
So, true. If you're going to say Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill, or excuse me, Tua Tagovailoa, arm strength, Patrick Mahomes has a stronger arm. He got more zip and got more velocity. But in 2022, Tua Tagovailoa led all qualifying passers in yards per attempt at 9 yards. So, it's actually 9.4.
Like I always said, as long as he can throw deeper than the deepest safety.
Again, a lot of these narratives, right? On the flip side, there's plenty of statistics to prove otherwise. Health and execution, as well as adding more to what he already possesses, is all I need for us to be in a position to, dude, fucking, what's his name for the Niners? Brock Purdy was in the Super Bowl. Tua is better than Brock Purdy. That's it. I don't understand. Where's the question? Niners had only 4 drop passes all year, which is crazy, dude. But again, let's hear a little bit more.
Will Tua lead an explosive offense?
I just want to congratulate Tyreek Hill. They paid him that bag, and he's doing what he can from a marketing standpoint. The question will come down to Tua Tagovailoa. Now, we got to look at him, and we saw that, in a short yardage situation, that's really all he could do. On the NFL level, short yardage situations is all we've seen him do. Now, Tyreek Hill is the kind of brother that can make a short yardage situation into an 80 or 90-yard touchdown. So,
bro, again, I'll tell you what, right? It's like all the takes were made from his first season when we were during Brian Flores under an RPO, which is what he asked. And I kind of understand it from a Brian Flores perspective.
Or the traditional eye test of a 6'5", 240-pound quarterback. You know what I mean?
Truth be told, I could see that as well, right? But, again, look, for everyone who hates Brian Flores, and you can hate him, I don't give a shit, right? I understood as a defensive-minded coach, you know how to win games defensively. What you don't want is your quarterback to give the other team any opportunities to lose you the game. And when you have a young guy with limitations because of injuries and all the other stuff he perceived, plus the team had plenty of limitations too. We're talking Lynn Bowden Jr. and Preston Williams and Devontae Parker as the wide receiving top three. Like, that's just terrible, right? My point is that I understood that, but with the new weapons and a right coach to coach them and use them, it was bound to change. We were going to find out a lot of stuff. And in that first year, Mike McDaniel, we did. And everyone was assuming it was going to be the same exact thing. Even all my skepticism of Tua and his ability as an NFL quarterback at this juncture when everyone was making these takes, I still said, well, you're writing it off. You're still in no position in a third year to say, that's it, I'm done seeing this guy. Done. Unless there's some serious off the field type of personality flaws, especially after changing coaches, right? If Mike McDaniel came in there and he did all of what we've seen him do, of pumping Tua up and helping sell him and being a real, chum with the guy, and Tua just became dejected emotionally and with the game, then yeah, fuck off. But I didn't foresee that in his character. So him doing that, all these changes, we needed to wait to see how it cooked. Now, I was very upset that it ended with a injured season after all the concussions, but he turned around and did something else last season. Now, I still want more. I still am upset with the way he finished last year. I still am. I think there's some endurance things. Say what you want, but I think there's some fatigue and some endurance things that showed up late in the end of the year with his arm, with everything with the team. And let's see if Tua, number one, as a leader now, he needs to be a more leader of this team. To me, that was one of the biggest things. When the games and the going got tough, nobody was leading. No one was stepping up and said, I'm the leader. And Tua's got to be that guy, especially if you're going to get $200-something plus million. That's the deal.
Right.
And you know what?
Which is why the cold narrative kind of doesn't play anymore, because there was nothing wrong with the weather in Miami when we faced Buffalo. So.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I think you would reference those impact.
So, the Tua coming out as of late, and there being a little bit of this contract dispute. I'm gonna play a clip from him talking about it here, and what some of the mainstream media had to say in how he's handling it. But to me, I like Tua a little bit more fired up. I like that he feels doubted and or is a little antsy, as he put it, about his contract situation, and a little bit restless because of it. Because to me, when ultimately he does get paid, and or if he has to go week one without getting paid, I want him to find the apex predator inside of him to say, this is my motherfucking Miami Dolphins now. This is my Miami Dolphins now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to lie. I think it's contrived, but we do seem to get better results with Salty Tua. Just saying.
I agree with it. And here, take a listen, everybody.
People that, are in my position that are getting paid. Am I concerned about it? I'm not concerned about it, but there's a lot of discussion, that we've had that, we just are trying to move that thing into the right direction where we can both be happy. Not frustrated. I'm another word, but just wanting to get something done. That's it. Just wanted to get something done.
Now, to me, a lot of people blew it. A lot of people blew.
You go back and re-say it, but it's not antsy, bro.
Well, Cam Wolf reported later that Tua confirmed antsy as the descriptive
Yeah,
word
I
for him.
know. After he thought about it a little while, but in that moment, I guarantee you the word wasn't Nancy.
No, here's the thing, right?
The word was either disappointed or insulted, one or the other.
I don't think it's either of those, Color, personally. I think Tua just doesn't want to deal with it. I don't think he likes dealing with money. I don't think he likes people having this discord. I think it makes him uncomfortable. I'm a person like this that gets uncomfortable in that type of scenarios. And I think he just wants it over, but doesn't want to get railroaded either. But
well, it's uncomfortable because you're talking about, you have to say what's good about a player to say why they're worth a certain amount, but you also have to critique a player. And that's not fun. I mean, he's basically he's basically in front of his boss for a raise, and the boss is evaluating his performance. You know what I mean?
So I don't even think the critique is something coming up, which we definitely know Tua does not like critique, right? He doesn't like it.
The reason I say that is because when he said
what's up, Vonjo?
When he said other quarterbacks in my position are getting paid. Position as in QB or position as in, what they've done. You know what I mean?
I like that. But no, I think he meant position in the quarterback room, and I think he's looking at his contemporaries.
Right, and the team comes back and says, "Excuse me, what position?"
I think he's looking at everybody other than Jordan Love and saying, "All these son of a bitches got paid, but me. What the hell?" And listen, fine. Again, I like chip on the shoulder Tua. I think it's a guy that plays with something to prove. And give me a guy who plays with a chip on his shoulder 10 out of 10 times versus a guy who's comfortable right now. I don't want a comfortable guy. Look at every prize fighter in any sport. When they're hungry, they're the greatest. Soon as they are champion and, they remain champion and get some cupcakes, it's Rocky friggin' 2 or Rocky 3. Clubber Lang comes by and smacks you the fuck around this bitch. And then you got to refine yourself. And a lot of guys don't. They go, I'm going to lean on all this money I got and this comforts of life, and I'm not worried about being the best athlete anymore. I got mines, and I don't like that. And that's what I don't want to happen to my Dolphins. I don't want it to happen. I don't believe Tua is so much that guy because I feel like what his point getting across and what he was saying there is different. That he just wants it over with so he can go as business as usual and worry about winning football games.
What he was saying there was the same thing everybody else is saying, that he's heard all over his fans, pour all over the internet.
Yeah.
The market is the market. That's what he's saying.
Yeah, well, I hate that.
Other quarterbacks in my position. He's saying the market is the market.
I hate that. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear it. I don't want people talking about market is the market. It is what it is. You know what? Guess what? I have
for all the people.
Color, hold up real quick. Quick, Color. I'll give it to you. Plain and simple. I've got 4 phones and 3 watches through Verizon. I promise you I'm paying market. I call T-Mobile today. They're giving me lower. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
Guarantee it. They're going to get it to be cheaper.
We don't have T-Mobile calling. That's the problem.
Well, again, I don't want T-Mobile. That's why I'm not shopping T-Mobile. But fuck around on me, Verizon. I'll leave this bitch today.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? I like Verizon. They've treated me fine. I'm willing to pay the VIG. But if they fuck around on me and raise my rates and my service gets spotty, I'm at this motherfucker.
Right. And here's the thing, and this may segue into something else that's been going on. I don't know. That's obviously this is going to be at your pace, but for all the people that go around talking about how everybody else is casuals and don't know what they're talking about and have like casual takes and all that, walking around parroting the phrase "the market is the market" is the epitome of casual. By the way. So I think it's laughable to watch all these people point their fingers at everybody else, even those who might be joking, okay, and act like they got some kind of superiority or intellectual high ground when they're walking around spewing parroted talking points like the market is the market.
Yeah, I hate that. And I'll tell you this, for all you imbeciles that parrot talk at points like the market is what the market is. It's the market. First of all, that's a lie because Deshaun Watson broke the market and then it proceeded to get cheaper with paying too high priced rookies. And then everybody else afterwards is taking below market considering what Deshaun Watson is. So don't tell me the market is what the fucking market is.
I beg to differ, Cat. I think the market is the market. The point I'm trying to make is like people walking around saying the sky is blue, acting like they're scientists.
So yes, I get you on that.
Like what I mean by that is the market is the market, and I keep saying the same thing. Now I feel like a parrot. The market was the market the last time we won the Division II in the housing market. And I hardly doubt any of y'all, okay, that bought a $100,000 home for $500,000 are still living in that thing.
Not when you could have made the profit.
No, my point is there was no profit to be made. It was called a bubble. See, the market is the market, but bubbles are also bubbles.
Yeah. Don't be blowing bubbles in my face talking about markets, bitch. Anyhow, here's
so
what
I'd ask again: how many people that bought a home for $500,000 that wasn't worth more than $150,000? How many of y'all still living in that home?
The bank took that house, Color.
Exactly, or they're still living in it and can't do nothing with it.
Yep, can't even refurbish it as it falls apart because you're upside down. I would say this, right? So when I hear the market is the market from these dummies on here, and because he's the last quarterback to get paid as of the next quarterback to get paid, if Tua comes out and becomes this most expensive all time, gets a $300 million deal, $250 million guaranteed, resets the market. You're setting this man up for nothing but criticism tenfold than he's already getting. So for all you people that want to be right again about Tua are going to make it worse on him because I'd rather have a quarterback paid and earning something he can live up to and supersede than the latter, him being overpaid and sucking and ruining my team and me bitching about it and this fan base bitching about it and us running him out of here when he probably is still good enough to win with us. But we ran him up out of here because we got fucked on a deal.
Exactly. And you know what? I'm sorry, but your boy Color ain't going to be able to hold back the haters. I'm not going to be able to placate them like I have been. In case you haven't been noticed, I've been the one placating them for y'all.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. Color been on these front lines, you ingrateful fucks.
Yeah. I ain't going to be able to do that much longer if we,
Tell him, Color.
you know.
Tell him, Color. Tell him
overpay and the same result
a color of a different color up in this bitch if you fuck around and find out. You don't want... Do they want old Color back?
They might.
Is that what they really want?
Is
that what they really want? They want old Color back up in this bitch?
I mean, he's been popping up lately.
Fuck around and find out.
I mean,
fuck around and find out.
And it's to your point. It's like none of that is fair to Tua.
It's not. He doesn't deserve it.
You know, you're all going to be railing him if he don't come through after we give him a contract. Or let's say if we overpay him. Y'all are going to be railing him, and it's all going to be his fault. I mean, hey, whatever y'all want. I'm just saying, I ain't going to be able to hold back the haters. They're going to be able to say whatever they want.
That's it.
And they're going to be right.
And I'll tell you what, depending on his performance, I might lead a hater brigade up in this bitch. I'm not scared to say it. I don't give a shit. What y'all finna do? Ooh, I know. I get it. You nip my channel. You get us demonetized. You do all that. But you know what? Doesn't stop us. We just keep churning through. We'll sit and make shows demonetized because I know how you bastards get down. Website gets bigger. Following gets bigger. Fuck y'all hating bastards.
It's like I heard somebody earlier today say that that the Jared Goff deal was the starting point. I'm like,
kinda. I think it kinda is relative to what he should get. I think it's relative.
Just going to ignore half of what Jeff Darlington said, right?
Oh, you mean Jeff Darlington stole from me?
Jeff Darlington said that was their ultimate point. That means that's our ceiling. That's as high as we're willing to go.
See, and yes, that might be so, but add a 5th year to that,
sure,
with a little bit more incentive money, and you're right at what El Capitan's been saying for fucking months.
Right. My point is only that everybody got that number and immediately ran with it as the starting point when Darlington literally said it was the ending point.
Well, Darlington is just taking again more takes. Again, we get it. We love you guys.
They like half of what he said, so they can't put him on Cuck Mountain. You know what I mean? They love him too much.
Shit.
They just ignore the stuff that don't fit their narrative with Darlington.
Shit. Damn color.
No, seriously, bro, though, I'm at the point where it's simple matter of lawyers right now. The lawyers for the Miami Dolphins LLC are not going to let this contract happen without injury protection. It just ain't happening.
Chip said, did Barry Cunningham get banned? I don't know nothing about that, did he? I know he's been talking a lot of political stuff. And you want to get banned on YouTube. Start talking freely about your political beliefs, bro. Fuck around and find out. Start talking freely about your political beliefs. You'll get fucking kicked off this app quick.
He did get ostracized from the Dolphins community, but I don't know.
We ran his ass up out of here, dog. He fucked around with Dougie.
I mean, we don't ban anybody. Barry Cunningham is welcome to come and talk to Capitan face to face.
I've been waiting for that conversation.
Ain't nobody afraid around here.
I mean, listen, nobody's banned, as you know, except for Cat for Life, who gets banned every now and again.
Yeah, Cat for Life, yeah.
Look, barely Cunningham. Damn.
Cat for Life is now known as Capped for Life.
and Sal, InfoWars going bankrupt? You talking about fucking Alex Jones getting bankrupt?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, he's always getting railroaded by Congress or some shit. That fucking guy. Again, when you say about 10,000 things and maybe 100 of them are true, I mean, you're batting like a good 1%.
Well, the problem is even if you're 99% true, if that 1% is something so outrageous that it discredits you, then hey, you buck the tiger too much, and that's what happens, man.
The reptilians are running the Congress color.
I know, right?
The reptilian race is inflated, and they're drinking blood and bathing in blood and running America.
But here's the thing: somewhere in there, they came flying out of a blue sky. So he does say some accurate things.
Well, the sky's only blue because you've seen it blue, but really what you're seeing, color, is the vapors of the dome that lays over here, and it's the ferment that rusts into the sky. And if you look at it from another purview, you'll see the second sun that sits upon the horizon.
The sky is just a governmental construct.
That's it. Haven't you seen Truman Show, color? If you took a rocket launcher and shot it directly in the air, it would eventually turn around due to it being stuck in a dome.
It's called the boomerang effect.
It's called the boomerang effect. And if you look at it through the lens of one of these glasses you could buy at 1-800-7 glasses, you could see the slitting of the earth that puts a purple hue, and you can actually really see the real sun if you look at it just right.
I've got 5 out of 10,000 Air Force officials that are willing to testify to that.
Well, I do know this, color, that the entire government in World War III is under attack coming around the corner, and you need to buy this food bucket from me and stack it up.
You gotta get the food and a pillow. You gotta get a pillow too.
Get a pillow and a food bucket, and you'll be wandering around with your pillow and food bucket, and hopefully all your ammunition you've been putting up in your house and getting prepared for it, and hopefully El Capitan doesn't come by and steal all your shit.
That's a way to take back shit right there, man. Don't let this asshole speak for anybody.
Not gonna lie, I find him entertaining. I've watched a couple of his
highly
shit.
entertaining.
I find it funny. Again, dude, I could watch damn near anything. If
He's highly entertaining, bro.
Fucking right. So, all right, these are my expectations for Tua Tagovailoa. I expect him to get paid the money I said. I expect him to get out, and I expect him to play better than what people like Colin Cowherd are saying.
Yeah, more money talk. How about we play football? I'm ready for the camps to open. I'm done with the money talk.
Play football and risk injury?
Why not? And with life's a risk.
That's really low.
My car drive to work could have an injury.
As high as it goes.
Okay, boomer. I can walk off the curb and get hit by a bus. Come on. Listen, man, when are you going to start putting on a cape and defending these quarterbacks? Jordan Love, Tua, Trevor Lawrence. Show the man their money.
You and I did a draft at the end of the show the other day, and Tua did not make our top 12.
So?
I'm not protecting people unless there is production value, health, and a trajectory. Why this idea is so absurd that next guy up gets the bag. No, he doesn't. It's
See, I'm not going to argue with that. I will say that if you're picking 12 quarterbacks today, you got to take in youth into account. And Tua's definitely one of those 12 quarterbacks.
To be fair to Tua, the three things he listed, Tua is literally like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What are the three things he listed? High production value, healthy, and an upward trajectory. All three of those Tua checks the box on all three of those right now.
Yeah, I mean, I guess when you take in a 4-year sample size, it can be skewed, but let's not act like quarterbacks or players don't get injured and then turn around and have Here, I'll give you a perfect example.
I mean, look, it might not be as much a growth as a guy like CCRR expects, but those three things that Cowherd listed, Tua does check those boxes technically.
So I will say this, right? And Bill's fake crowd noise. Why don't you throw some of that donation this way? Trump's got plenty of fucking money compared to us, dog. I'm not saying don't donate to where you want to put your money, but I could use a little bit of that fucking donation. Trump, I'm sure he could use it for sure. I mean, he's got all kinds of fucking problems going on right now.
He seems to be doing all right.
Seems to be doing all right. I think he's gonna. I'll tell you what. I can't wait for the debates. That shit's gonna be fucking hilarious, bro. I can't wait for that. Anyhow,
again, another highly entertaining.
Fuck yeah, dude. First of all, Shane Gillis, comedian, has a fucking great bit about Donald Trump and debating, and he was like, "Dude, the guy is the world champ of debating. Everybody's seen the debates. It was the sickest shit ever. Every comedian was talking. It was fucking hilarious. So if you don't find that funny, I don't know what to tell you, bro. I'm fucking taking it too seriously.
You either take light of it and realize that it's nothing but entertainment, or
life's a pageant.
Jump off the cliff because you didn't get your guy. You know?
Life is a pageant. Color. Duly note, people. Life is a pageant. Make sure to put your makeup on.
Yep.
He says, I'm broke now. Trump really needed his money. He says, well, when you get some more money, holler at your boy, dog. All right, no worries.
Well, that's the thing, man. You know, you got, like, again, it's the same with the market is the market. You got a whole bunch of people making a lot of money to walk around saying the market is the market. Like, I can do that if y'all want me to.
Yeah, I can't say that, bro. I'm broke as fuck. So, anyhow, let's finish up with the Tua, because I'm ready to get on the O-line. Hold on, what did I have?
Well, I got a little bit of a news tidbit for the O-line talk, too.
Oh, really? Well, then let's go ahead. Tua, we're going to see. We'll still keep you guys informed. To me, we'll end it on this, that Tyreek Hill either gets paid in the next week, or I expect that to be put completely on hold and them get a deal done with Tua mid-July. Like I've been saying, like all the news has been saying, it's going to look a lot like the $265 million, but $215 million guaranteed for a 5-year deal. Been saying that for months now. And also, shortly after Tua signs that deal in mid-July, Tyreek Hill will sign his probably before middle of August. And that'll be the Dolphins, and we will have this 2024, 2025, 2026 season sewed up with doubling down in 2027, depending on how this 3-year window works. Oh, what I wanted to say is that Tua being healthy, getting past these injuries that he's had in the past, is just as likely as I'm not off Tua because of the injuries. I am cautious, but not off. And I would say the same is applied to like a guy like Jalen Phillips. Had injuries in college that took him out of the game, concussions now, and came back and played well, then popped his Achilles. I'm not writing Jalen Phillips off either. I still think Jalen Phillips very well may be a Gold Jacket member one day. I look at that guy and I have such high hopes for what I look at to be an absolute specimen of a fucking athlete on a football field, right? And that might be the case. I could be wrong in the end, but I would understand why someone would be willing to gamble on it. Just like I understand why the Dolphins are willing to gamble on Tua, and the price is what I said it is. Let's move on to the O-line. Hit the like button. Been an hour and a half. Go to tftgnetwork.com, you guys. Make sure to hook it up. Become a member. Hit the like button. Share the shows. We need your help. Check out all the programs we got here. We appreciate everyone who supports. Check out tftgnetwork.com.
Get ready to dive into a new world of online shopping with the Fins Tailgate. Whether you're a die-hard sports fan or just looking for the latest fashion trends, we've got you covered. With a wide variety of products from your favorite sports teams to stylish accessories and home decor, we're your one-stop shop for all things tailgate. Our easy-to-use website and hassle-free checkout process make shopping with us a breeze. Plus, with frequent sales and discounts, you won't want to shop anywhere else. So come on in and join the party at the Fins Tailgate, your new go-to destination for all things tailgate.
Check out tftgnetwork.com, guys. Buy some cool stuff. We got all kinds of funny things on there. Captain Savaho shirts. All the guys, all the characters from the team got swag coming out of there. Good stuff. More stuff coming. Always adding to the website a search bar. So if you want something and you go into the search bar and type it in, it'll come up.
Everything except for the first generation color commentary coffee mug.
Well, you know what, man? This is why you need to get stuff while it's available, because it might be gone one day.
Yeah, I can't even get one now. It's terrible.
Could be gone one day. So let's move on to the final subject of today's episode, and that is the O-line. So this is something we've been doing on Sundays, for a couple weeks now. We are doing an early roster prediction, and we're going through it position by position. And I'll give you guys a quick refresher on what we've got so far. All right. So we've done wide receivers. We put 6 wide receivers on the roster. We have Hill, Waddle, OBJ, Eazy-E, Braxton Berrios, and Malik Washington, leaving River Craycraft, Braylon Sanders, Taj Washington, Matthew Sexton, and Jaquan Burton on the outside looking in. Now, that may change. We might make an adjustment to the wide receiver room because of how many players we'll have come the end of this exercise. Well, then, once we reach our 53, we're going to look back and see where we might want to make adjustments and then put out our official 53-man roster. Next, we had tight ends. Now, oddly enough, we only carried 2 tight ends on the roster last year. Well, we put 3 on this year's roster. We have Jonnu Smith, Durham Smythe, and Julian Hill, all making the 53-man roster, with Jody Foster, Tanner Connor, and Hayden Ritchie on the outside looking in. Next, we have running backs. We held 5 running backs. Now, we only had 2 tight ends last year, but we had 6 running backs in total, including Alec Ingold. So what we did is we took 1 out of the running back room and put it into the tight end room, and that's at least how I've done it.
And by the way, we had more like 22 tight ends last year in Kansas City, but that's a different story.
Well, it is what it is. When you got wide receivers dropping the ball, you try to figure it out. Our 5 running backs is Alec Ingold, Raheem Mostert, Devon Achane, Jalen Wright, and Jeff Wilson Jr. Next, we went to safeties. Dolphins carried 5 safeties last year. Now, as of now, this could change. There could be a trade coming. There could be a signing coming. But again, this is why it's early 53-man roster. We're going to get this done before the changes come, before the cuts come. That's where we're projecting this exercise we're doing weekly. We have Jordan Poyer, Javon Holland, Elijah Campbell, and the guy we drafted, Patrick McMorris, making the team, leaving the rookies that we have on the team on the outside looking in, Mark Perry and Jordan Colbert. I just want to go back real quick because the running backs on the outside looking in are Chris Brooks and Sylvan Ahmed. I think if the Dolphins do that, Chris Brooks clears waivers. They add him on the practice squad. Same thing with guys like Jordan Colbert and Mark Perry. Either one of those guys could be picked back up on the practice squad. So now we move to the cornerbacks where we only carried 6 in 2023. I think we carry 7 in 2024, and I'm going to tell you why. We have Jalen Ramsey, Cam Smith, Kendall Fuller, Kader Kohu, Nick Needham, Sirianni Neal, and Ethan Bonner, who makes it over everybody else. Now, the reason I think we carry 7 is because of Nick Needham being the 7th guy who can also play safety. Why we took 1 from the safeties and gave 1 to the corners. The guys on the outside looking in, and this is camp battles I'll be looking at too, are Jason Meredith, Isaiah Johnson, and a fan favorite early in the UDFAs, Storm Duck. So we'll see how these guys can potentially compete in camp, and that's why we're trying to get this 53-man roster done before the season starts with the season of camp. And I know that we've had mandatory mini camps, so that I'm talking about once the pads and shit come on, ladies and gentlemen, right? Once they start really cutting down the rosters and looking to cutting down the rosters, we got a bunch of position battles that I've been writing down while I'm doing this exercise, and I'll continue to do so, and that'll be another show we'll have at a later date after the 53-man roster early projection. So we're coming up now to the O-line group. Now, in hold on a second, let me get this pen to write. So we're coming up to the offensive line. Now, in 2023, the Dolphins carried 10. I repeat, 10 offensive linemen. Currently, today, as it sits, the Dolphins have 17 offensive linemen right now. So real quick, just to let you guys know, who were those 10 offensive linemen that the Miami Dolphins had last year? Does anybody know? On the 53-man roster, El Capitan does. We have Teron Armstead, Isaiah Wynn, Connor Williams, Robert Hunt, who's both those guys are gone. We have Austin Jackson, Kendall Lamb, Robert Jones, Liam Eichenberg, Lester Cotton, and Keon Smith. Those were the 10. 2 of those guys are gone. Robert Hunt signed a massive deal as a free agent. What team did he even sign for? Was it I don't even remember, bro. What team, chat, did Robert Hunt sign for? Was it the Commanders or some shit like that? It was the Commanders, wasn't it? And Connor Williams, who's badly injured and may never play Panthers. Thank you, chat. Thank you. Panthers. Robert Hunt, who got nice, good money for good guaranteed money at that, and a lot of incentives hit for games played in a year. I looked at his contract; it was pretty good. Connor Williams, we'll see what happens with him, right? I don't know. So let's go ahead and look at the 17 guys that are on the Miami Dolphins roster to date. We've got newly signed center/guard Aaron Brewer. We have rookies that are on the team right now that were UDFAs in Isaiah Brown, who's a center, and rookie center Andrew Meyer out of UTEP, Ireland Brown out of Rutgers. Then we have Lester Cotton, who's still on the team. We have Austin Jackson, who's still on the team. We got Robert Jones, who didn't make the 53-man roster last year, but cleared waivers and remained on the Miami Dolphins. We've got Matthew Jones, who's a rookie out of Ohio State, who is a guard, but also has some snaps at center. Keep an eye on that. We have Chasen Hines, who's a guy out of LSU that we picked up on on the practice squad last year. We have the guy that is had limited football experience the guy from the Dominican Republic, Bayron Mathos, who is a staggering 6'9", 291 pounds rookie out of South Florida. He'll make the team, but not on the 53-man roster because he's a part of the international program that the NFL is doing to expand into bigger markets, but also, do all this stuff. He'll make the team and not count against the roster. So we're going to put him on there no matter what. We also have Teron Armstead, Jack Driscoll, who didn't get any playing time with the Dolphins as a bench dude. I think he got a little bit of snaps here and there. I don't know what the fuck is Jack Driscoll's deal. Auburn, 5th year. Liam Eichenberg, fan favorite Liam Eichenberg. Ryan Hayes, who we picked up last year out of Michigan, UDFA. Kendall Lamb.
Possible captain Liam Eichenberg.
Possible captain of the fucking team, Liam Eichenberg. How crazy would that be, bro? I would love that. Patrick Paul, the guy we got out of Houston. Patrick Paul is 6'7", 333 pounds, bro. Oof. God, dude. Keon Smith, Isaiah Wynn, rounding out the very end. So I'm going to go ahead and make this a little bit easy on us by just jotting off the names. Right now, we got Patrick Paul. We got.
Did you say we have 17 offensive linemen in the building right now?
Right now, yeah.
Jeez.
Well, think about it, Color. You lost 2 of your last year's projected starters on your 53. Got to figure those guys out.
Right,
and you didn't draft in any one of those positions. It was a guard and a center that you lost, and you didn't draft. Now you got a free agent center, but he's already got a little bit of something going on, and he's a smaller center already. So I don't know. And it's not like he's a superstar signing. So, and then we didn't get anybody in the draft at guard. We went and got a tackle, which I'm fine with personally, because Teron Armstead is playing on probably his last year, as well as Kendall Lamb, who the Dolphins had to talk back to coming back and playing. So let's go ahead. We've got Teron Armstead, we've got Patrick Paul, we've got Austin Jackson.
Jose says, I want to keep 15 of them.
All right, hold on. I'm trying to write down the names of all the guys that are more than likely going to make this team, right?
Yeah, patience, everybody. Cap didn't have the greatest time with handwriting in school.
I'm not, my penmanship is not well. I'm not gonna lie.
Grew up on the internet, and all that.
I didn't grow up on the internet, Color. Go fuck yourself. I didn't grow up on the internet.
Ooh, man. Call Cap a snowflake, man. That's the nerve right there, man.
No, it's just it took StreamYard coming out for me to actually be able to do this. You know what I'm saying? I tried fucking around with that other app, Streamlabs and shit. I needed a whole fucking production team to make that happen.
You definitely needed the point and click variety, huh?
Hell yeah, I needed it dumbed down for me, bro.
So you're that in between where people didn't get taught how to write properly,
bro. I didn't have typing class till like
cell phones yet.
I didn't get typing class till 10th grade in high school, and it was one
never had typing class.
Well, we actually had computers in the school, so I will give you that. But after that was pretty much it.
We were still learning about the newly invented technology called the PC.
Well, that's because you're a tiny bit older too, Color. But I will say this, right? We are both Floridian, and for anyone who doesn't know, especially South Florida, we take a lot of pride in our ignorance around here. That technology, I don't need that shit.
I know.
These computers are going to go by the wayside.
We're coming up, though, Cap. We're 4th in education in the country now.
That's right. That just means everyone else has gotten really fucking stupid.
Exactly. That is the definition of equity, ladies and gentlemen. We brought everybody else down to our level of the nation. Now everybody's on Florida time.
So right now I have 7 guys I believe make this football team no matter what. Patrick Paul, Teron Armstead, Austin Jackson, Kendall Lamb, Isaiah Wynn, Aaron Brewer, newly signed center, and Liam Eichenberg. Say what you will, haters, but Liam Eichenberg is this football team. He's being on it. Go fuck yourself, you crying little bitches. Now, here's
the franchise, man. He's going to be on a billboard by next week.
Now, here's the question, right? Keon Smith, Ryan Hayes, Jack Driscoll, Robert Jones, Lester Cotton, Jason Hines, and then the 2 center UDFAs, Ireland Brown and Andrew Meyer. Which of these guys make it? So I'm going to go ahead and today on an early, I think Keon Smith makes the team, right? I think he's too valuable to not have for his versatility to play inside now and both bookend on tackles. I think he's too, look, Kendall Lamb obviously is the first guy in, right? As of right now, unless Patrick Paul can swing it right away. But I've seen Keon Smith play some guard as well. So I don't know. I think Keon Smith is the 8th guy on that roster. I think Robert Jones, who to me always seems to not only be on the team since they signed him as a UDFA, the most expensive UDFA signed in that offseason as well. I just want to point out. But when he gets on the field, he just looks good. He looks good enough. He looks like a guy that when he gets his hands on somebody and extends his arms out, holds pat. And I think right now, with the shortage at guard, with us trying to figure something out, Isaiah Wynn's a great guard, but he can't stay healthy and hasn't his entire career. Liam Eichenberg, better center than he is a guard. And honestly, if Eichenberg comes out as center and they put Brewer at guard, I'm not going to be too surprised. I know Dolphin fans unanimously like, why be that? Well, I'm telling you, to me, it makes Brewer's nicked up, Todd. That's right. And if Eichenberg comes out week 1 as the starting center and they don't take him out and Brewer goes in at the right guard, El Capitan was right again. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guys. Right now we have Patrick Paul, Teron Armstead, Austin Jackson, Liam Eichenberg, Kendall Lamb, Isaiah Wynn, Aaron Brewer, Keon Smith. I think the next guy, Robert Jones. Now, for us to hit the 10, we need to sign one more guy. Now, we've still got Lester Cotton on here, who the Dolphins had on their 53-man roster over Robert Jones last year. I think Lester Cotton gets in there just on the guard position alone. Now, here's the kicker. I think the Dolphins carry 11 offensive linemen. Again, the Dolphins carry 11 offensive linemen. Who is the 11th offensive lineman, you ask? I think it's either Ireland Brown or Andrew Mayer or Matthew Jones. All 3 guys played center. Matthew Jones playing more guard. And I'm thinking
these are UDFAs?
These are all the UDFAs.
Okay. Great. Perfect. All right. Continue.
I think the battle is going to come down to Ireland Brown and Matthew Jones. That's what I think. I think it's going to come down to those 2 guys. And I'm going to go ahead and pick Matthew Jones over Ireland Brown on simple fact that he's got snaps at center. He's got a lot of play at guard. And he played for Ohio State against good competition. And I think in camp, he's going to be the guy that steps up.
Well, we know who Ali's pulling for.
That's true. So Matthew Jones being the 11th and final guy. Let me go ahead and we're going to write down the...
While you're doing that, I'm going to get into some early rumors, smatterings that pertain to this offensive line. So those three guys you just mentioned, the UDFAs in the room, are, in your estimation, are all competing for an 11th spot, correct? Is that?
Yep, and and they're all interior guys that can play center.
Okay, so there's a little bit of news coming out of Ravens flock over on SI, Raven Country, they call it, their fan site for Sports Illustrated. And it looks like there might be a camp battle going on over in Baltimore, too. The headline of the article reads, Ravens offensive lineman named trade candidate for Dolphins.
I've seen that.
So the article kind of it's speculative, but the reason I'm bringing it up is because it's a little too early to talk about camp cuts and all that and whatever else, because this guy is still battling for his position. But the reason I'm pointing it out is because if we've got 3 UDFAs battling for an 11th spot, then I would add Baltimore's guys that are battling for one of their guys' spot, because if one of those guys beats them out, which they're not expecting, but if it happens, this guy could become available who would probably likely be a better option than those 3 UDFAs that are fighting for our 11th spot. So let me go ahead and read the article, some of the article real quick. You can check it out again on Raven Country over at si.com. The article's author is John Elf.
You gonna read it to us, Color?
Some of it. I don't want to
please
take
do.
all it. I don't want to
No,
take.
Please do. Read it all, please.
Yeah. So from John Alfano, beat writer for the Ravens. Throughout the offseason, one of the biggest questions surrounding the Baltimore Ravens is who will be blocking for Lamar Jackson and company. Tyler Lindenbaum and Ronnie Staley are locked in at center and left tackle, respectively. But the other 3 spots on the offensive line are all up for grabs. The Ravens have solid candidates to fill each of those spots, but there simply aren't enough starting roles. One of the players competing for a starting gig is 4th-year guard Ben Cleveland, who has started just 7 of 37 career games. If he doesn't win a starting gig, though, Cleveland could be on the move, and Brian Miller of FinFanatic believes the Miami Dolphins could be a fit. Quote, there's no guarantee that Ben Cleveland will win a roster spot in Baltimore. The Ravens have upgraded the line with youth, but Cleveland hasn't been as consistent as the Ravens would like, Miller writes. This could pave the way for a trade. The Dolphins would get experience and youth. Cleveland was a former 3rd-round pick of the Ravens, but has only started 7 games in his career. He's been more of a depth player. The guy goes on to describe him a little more. So it goes on to say Cleveland is seemingly in line to win the starting right guard spot, but he'll face some stiff competition. Josh Jones, Malasala Almoave, Laulu, and even Patrick McCarry could all contend for that spot as well. Obviously, the Ravens would love it if Cleveland pulls through, wins the starting job, and becomes a staple up front. If he can't do that, though, they may feel compelled to cut their losses and get what they can in return. And one of our guys from FinFanatic has decided his best fit is the Miami Dolphins. So those 3 UDFAs are complete. Also, I would estimate, are competing with all 4 of these guys, too. As far as camp cuts and what we could utilize off camp cuts down the road.
Yeah, I think, look, I don't want to call it a lazy take by any stretch, right? I'll say this. Here's a guard that they probably don't need. Dolphins lost a guard in free agency and didn't address it in the draft, and have what appears to be a glaring hole at both guard spots and potentially center if the fucking center we signed doesn't work. So the interior, we need help. Now, why would this guy work and why are they believing? Well, because our defensive coordinator, who coached a lot of the interior D-line for the Ravens over the years, probably knows this guy very well. Now, whether he's worth us getting remains to be seen. I would be surprised if a trade happened, and if it did happen, it'll be a swap of picks, right? No one's just trading for someone else's garbage. A guy who over 30-something starts only has 7.
Yeah,
So,
again, we're not talking about a guy to come in and rack some heads. We're talking about a guy that could be a better option than the 3 UDFAs we have for our 11th spot. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm going to go through that real quick because what we have is, again, we've gone ahead and kept one extra offensive lineman, and that's because of Aaron Brewer being nicked up and uncertain with whatever he's going to be. That has to do with us not addressing the guard position, in particularly in the draft, and going into a mishmash of guys that are, guys that have been around. And I got to be honest, right? Butch Berry, I love the guy. He has made me so much happier as a Dolphin fan. Never have I been so happy with a position group fucking coach in my life.
Yep,
because I
he's
feel
a
like
regular old chip off the Sperano.
We did talk about Jack Driscoll, and he's one of the guys that could really overtake, and we're gonna use that as the as another fight and stuff. Jack Driscoll's been in the NFL for 5 years though, and he's a tackle. So whether he can convert to guard and whether Butch Berry and company of the Miami Dolphins have been converting him to guard will show whether or not that could be. I think he could play guard. I think he'd be fine at guard.
I'm starting to believe there ain't a damn thing Butch Berry can't do.
Bro, I love the fucking guy. So right now, Patrick Paul, Teron Armstead, Austin Jackson, Liam Eichenberg, Kendall Lamb, Isaiah Wynn, Aaron Brewer, Keon Smith, Robert Jones, Lester Cotton, and then Matthew Jones being the 11th guy, the center guard from Ohio, making the cut. Also, Byron or whatever the hell his name, Mathos, the Dominican Republic guy, he will be on the team as the 54th guy that doesn't count against it. And that leaves Ireland Brown.
The non-football guy, right?
Yeah, he's right. The guy, he's the international pick. Ireland Brown, Andrew Mayer, Chasen Hines, Jack Driscoll, and Ryan Hayes are all on the outside looking in. Now, in that full gambit of 2, 4, 5 names, I think all of those guys clear waivers for the Dolphins. I think all of those 5 guys clear waivers, and they can get these guys put back on the practice squad. Maybe one of them leaves, right? Maybe 2. But that's the stuff that teams got to put in their head. They're going to keep one extra offensive lineman because their interior has a lot of question marks, and they're going to do some combinations this year and figure some shit out.
Overload the room like we have.
That's right. But also, don't think that they're not got their eyes on other dudes like this guy from Baltimore, right? Now, if they make it,
I brought it up this early because it is way too early to be talking about guys like that. But yeah, I mean, you're looking at 3 UDFAs fighting for one spot. If and we want to go with youth. I mean, obviously, we want our own. But that list that Cap just filled out, if that 11th guy is some dude with some experience from the Ravens, hey, that's an option. That in other words, these guys in camp, clearing waivers, that kind of thing. A guy like that guy from the Ravens probably wouldn't clear waivers. So they've got to look at, they're not just compete. Again, this is what we always talk about in the last preseason game or two, where it's like guys you can't if you're a guy that ain't Tyreek Hill, then you need to show up every day in camp, because it ain't just the tape that the Dolphins are looking at. It's the tape that the other teams are looking at. You know what I mean? Like this guy in Baltimore,
fighting for their NFL lives, bro.
Right. This guy in Baltimore, we're going to be looking at his tape compared to the tape that these 3 UDFAs put down in camp.
And with a little bit of insight because of our DC.
And that's the kind of thing you got to impress upon the rookies coming in. Look, there are 1,600 some players in the NFL. Just because they ain't on this team don't mean you're not competing with them. And and the good ones, the 5th round draft picks that end up becoming superstars are the ones that understand that.
That's true. It'll be a question when we get to the end of this exercise on whether do they keep 10 or 11. And if they only keep 10 because we decide, they're going to keep more on the D line or in the defense and stuff like that, whatever, pass rushers, right? We've got some issues there. But I will say this. If they do keep 11, here's the question. Do they keep 10 or do they keep 11? If they do keep 11, who's the 11th guy? Is it one of these guys we possess, or is it some other guy that's out there? And if it is some other guy that's out there, does he take the position of somebody else that we thought were in our top 10? And then we keep an 11th guy.
That's always a possibility too.
See what I'm saying? It's going to be the bottom of the O-line roster, whether it's the 10th or the 11th guy. It's a real question mark, and it's something I'm going to keep an eye on, and I've got it written here for what we're looking for in camp and what we're going to pay attention to when the season truly starts for 2024. So, all right, well, that's all I got for today. That's it. I felt like it was a good show. We rounded it out at 2 hours, took up the first hour and a half on the earlier nonsense, and then the with the
Did you touch on the internal AI battle?
AI troll job? That was the first thing I touched on,
great.
Bro. AI versus AI, dog.
I was sleeping, man. That's the part I wanted to show up for. I'm like,
yeah. Yep, I got that early. And then expectations on Tua Tagovailoa. What do I expect out of him in his 5th year in the NFL, 3rd year Mike McDaniel's offense? What I expect production-wise? What I expect this football team to be with the expectations I've put on him and this team. And I've made the caveat, it also comes down to Mike McDaniel. He could fuck this whole thing up too. And then what I expect him to get paid, what the numbers are going to look like, what people are saying, what people were saying. We went into all that, what they were saying about Tua, and now what they're saying today and how it's changed. And then we broke down another position of the football team's 53. Next week, we'll probably break down the entire defensive line, which is actually, I don't know. It's going to be difficult, right? We'll probably do the front 7. We'll probably do the whole thing. We'll do the outside linebackers, inside linebackers, and we'll break it up, right? We'll do tackles, linebackers, I don't know. It's going to be hard because we got a million defensive tackles, edge rushers, and linebackers. I think right now on the roster today, I think we have 14 linebackers. Wow. And then we have 2 defensive ends, and then I think 8 defensive tackles. So we've got 28 front 7 guys. That's fucking nuts, dude.
That is definitely a open competition right there.
It's a big time competition, buddy. Big time.
The only one I can think of is Zyler.
Yeah, Siler's totally on this football team. That's gonna what it is.
Real quick though, I do want to say that that Dove Kleiman account, whoever's running it, they won the internet yesterday. That was a epic. That was a level 10 troll. That is how
he did a great job.
That is how you take what started as a really bad joke and turn it into the most epic troll.
It's got like 2 million. It's got like 2 million views on the damn thing, bro. And you know what?
I didn't see the forest from a trees at first. I thought this is a really bad joke. And then after this morning, when I saw that it got reader context added to it, I'm like, oh, I get it. These dudes are epic, bro. That was just an epic troll, man.
I don't know. I think it's more along the lines that the AI, because I don't think that person's real.
Well, maybe not, but in that case, if he's not real, you're right. That's why I like your take so much, because it's like AI battling AI.
I don't think it's real. I think it's an AI account, and it's getting
and meanwhile,
data from 3 years ago.
All the Tua lemmings are just like hook, line, and sinker, bro.
Yeah, it's getting data from 2022, Color. That's why it put out that meme. That's it. And when it puts out original takes, hold on, Color, just listen to me real quick. When it puts out original takes like that, it's always 2-year-old data.
Right.
And when it puts out everything else, it's just rewording ChatGPT someone else's tweet. That's what it is.
Right. But if you look at it like if it is a human behind
somebody
the troll,
smart enough to pull off the troll, that was brilliant. But I don't think even that person
right, but I'm saying
is that smart.
If it was a real life person pulling off a troll, then it's not that it's old data, it's that
it's a good job.
It's
good
semantics. It's semantics. What he said, he never said 5+. He never said 5 or more. He never said more than 5. He said 5. That 5 is not 4 and it's not 6. You get the semantics there? That's the troll, bro.
No, I still don't get it. I still feel like it's a fucking dump.
He's never ended a game with exactly 5 touchdowns.
I know, but God bless it, dude.
That's what it's a bad joke. Yes, it's a terrible joke.
You know what else I saw on that, Color?
Bro.
You know what else I seen on that was Jared Goff was on the list twice for the Rams and for the Lions. When I'm almost certain that I've seen Matthew Stafford throw 5 or more touchdowns as a Ram.
Or there's your thing. He never said 5 or more. He said 5. Exactly 5. That's the bad joke. It is a bad joke. I tell you, it's a terrible joke.
I don't know. All right, well, that'll be the end of that, Color. You guys, again, go back and watch it from the beginning because it was funny. Hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, share the video, everybody, and become a member. Join the membership. Help support the program. Donate to the shows. Come out. Don't let these Bills and Patriots fans and these potty mouth fans come around here and outdo you guys in the donations and in the subscriptions. So subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button, and we'll see you guys next time. Fins up.